Rich, Tennessee Homestead. How the heck are you? I got one of those little general, all kinds of stuff to talk to you about. In the last video, I talked about the CDC a little bit, and our numbers for this county is absolutely amazing. How we have had double the cases of, I'll go with the flu, and our deaths, we still at 0 deaths in this county. So that dropped our number way down there. I mean, way down there per population. It really fell off. Matter of fact, we should probably have the best average in the nation, I guess. Come down to this county, you look around, it's not the healthiest lot in the bunch. You wouldn't think that we'd be the shining stars of the U.S. population. Anyway, like I said, I got to call BS on all this nonsense. I've said it from the word go. We are in the state of Tennessee at a normal flu, little like a rough flu. Little high over normal, but right there in the ballpark for standard flu. It kind of fizzled as a pandemic. Of course, we knew better than to stick a bunch of people that had the flu back in nursing homes with people who didn't have the flu. That's probably not such a smart idea. And some states did that. Anyway, so much with that. Just keep that in mind. Put it back in the back of your head. The numbers have never. Hopefully they come up with a little vaccine or flu shot or whatever for next year, and everybody these states that have totally shut down, you need to fire your government, your governor, and your legislatures. Fire them. Let the next group that takes on behind them understand, you ain't doing this to us no more. No. This clown got away with it. We fired him. You want to be next? Pull something like this. That's the way to fix it. Quit voting for R's and D's. Vote for the people. Yeah, I've actually voted Democrat. Yeah. If I truly believed in them, I'd vote for them. Of course, that was back in the day when there were such things as moderate Democrats. Those days are gone, man. They're gone. You got these crazy communists, and pretty much it. And that's the reason so many Democrats are now turning Republican. Because Republicans are more of the centrists anymore. Tell you an interesting story. When I went down, by the way, I started talking about the sinus thing. I got talking to the doctor. He's one of the doctors that also works at the hospital, and I asked him about these numbers, and he just looked at me. I don't know how much you can say. I can't say exactly what he said other than kind of raised my eyebrow and just went, bull pucky. But he didn't use the word pucky. He said it's a sham. He said, these numbers aren't right. He said, I've talked to other doctors in the other counties. He said, numbers aren't right. But driving back from town after getting my sinuses washed out, I noticed that I was noticing the signs in the yards. Now, here in this little town, you don't get a lot of political signs because about 95% of everybody is conservative and vote Republican. But I did notice in this one little neighborhood, there's just a pile of Trump signs, which is unusual because it just kind of goes without saying. Tennessee votes for a conservative. But there was one guy in the neighborhood, transplant, I guess. I don't know. Must have been a recent college grad. He had a Joe Biden sign up and a big flag hanging off his front porch that said Joe Biden. But I noticed that his sign was sitting out in front of about an 8-foot tall hedge row. You couldn't see that sign from his house. And all around him are these Trump signs and Trump flags and all this. And as I drove by, I noticed that the sign had, been up there for a while because it was kind of weathered. And it really hit me. As much as you see of him tearing down Trump signs and all this kind of stuff, that he's surrounded by Republicans, or at least conservatives. He's the only guy in the... Matter of fact, I saw two Biden signs in the entire town as I was driving through. And it's probably about a 4-mile stretch of residential in the downtown district. But his was out there where you couldn't even be seen from the house. You could pull up there, grab that sign, drive off, not a problem. Okay? Sign was there, man. Nobody took his sign down. Okay? Nobody stole his flags. None of that. That's the difference between this radical left and what used to be middle-of-the-road Democrats and middle-of-the-road conservatives. Middle of the road conservatives have always been a little right of the middle of the road Democrats, moderate Democrats. But all this stealing signs and all this kind of nonsense, that wasn't done. It was a rarity. Usually it was some kind of nutcase that did stuff like that. But yeah, I was kind of taken with that as like, if anything, it'd be very easy for somebody to pilfer that guy's sign, but nobody touched it. They have respect for one another's property. It's just kind of a difference between the cultures, I guess. You may not agree with somebody, but you don't hate them because of it. You don't damage their property because of it. Antifa, Black Lives Matter, you could learn a little bit about that. You've been to college. You think you know so much. I've been to college too. I just didn't play those games with those professors. When they'd start in on that kind of nonsense, I would laugh at them. Yeah, you need to get out of this school and go out there and get in the real world and find out what really goes on. Yeah, crazy. But these kids are lost. We've lost a generation. And if they don't back it down a little bit, I'm afraid we might lose a generation. It's kind of getting that direction. They're going to have to stop shooting people. They're going to have to stop burning and looting. Or this is going to break loose, and it's not going to be nice. And like I said, we lose so many blacks. So many blacks are killed in these neighborhoods by these criminal elements that are also black. It's sad, A lot of black children. BLM's killed a few black children shooting into cars. Yeah, that was real smart of you, wasn't it? Black lives didn't matter at that point, did it? There's a lot of good that could be done. There is, and I'm going to now give you the quick lesson. There's no such thing as white privilege. Now, if you're a very wealthy white dude that was born into the Rockefellers or somebody like that, yeah, you got some privilege. Most of us don't. Most of us have worked our tushes off to get what we have. Learn from that. Yeah, you can work your tush off and do pretty good too. That's why more Africans have come into this country after slavery, as did before slavery, and guess what? They're outperforming the crap out of you guys. Same color skin. Guess what? They're not getting shot by police. Wonder why that is. Could it be they're not breaking the laws? Could it be that if they do get stopped, they're not acting like a fool? Cops make mistakes. They're human beings. Okay, you guys are making some huge mistakes right about now. But yeah, so it's going to happen. A lot of whites get killed by police too, by the way. But the important thing is if you quit breaking the law, and if you do what you're told during an arrest stop or you're being arrested, you just comply and not resist, you'll find out that your likelihood of survival is a lot higher. Like I said, when I looked over the numbers on the Africans, the real Africans that have come to the U.S. for opportunities, and they're killing it, man. They're knocking it out of the park. Read a report recently where Filipinos have kind of replaced a lot of the other Asians as far as the big earners. And that is, I've worked with Filipinos. They're some of the hardest working son of a guns you'll ever want to run across. They'll take a low paying job and work 16-hour days, 6 days a week. They don't care. They think most Americans are lazy. Okay? That's what they'll tell you. You're lazy. You need more money? Work double shifts. And these people will bust their butts. But they'll also be buying homes, starting businesses. They're killing it. Africans, killing it. A lot of the Muslims coming into this country, killing it. What's wrong with you Americans? Oh, that's right. Too busy being a victim. Why don't you work on that? They are taking the opportunities that are in front of you, and they're making them work. Why can't you? So when you need to sit back and look in the mirror and go, yeah, why is that? You might change what you're doing and actually prosper. This is Rich from Tennessee Homestead. Love you guys and I appreciate you. Want everybody to do good, okay? Even Black Lives Matter if you ever get your head screwed on, right? Y'all take care.